Hunt for the World Cup with Gavin Hunt, exclusive to Jacaranda FM.
I think the South American teams have got to be huge favourites. I mean, history will tell you that no team outside of South America has won the World Cup when it's been held in South America. So for me, I've got to go with history. I think the biggest factor is the heat. I mean, you've got a lot of European teams coming from real colder conditions, and I think the Brazilian players, and the Argentinian players, even though most of them play in Europe, I still do feel that they'll have the upper hand with the World Cup in Brazil, with obviously the heat factor and also the times of the games that these teams will be playing and the players will be playing. So for me, I can't see anybody outside of the South American team or country winning the World Cup. Well, I think Brazil are going to be huge favourites, closely with a good second, I would think, from Argentina. But I mean, the dark horse for me is certainly got to be a German side. I think Germany, when they came in 2010, were a very young side. They've kept the same side, the same coach. 4 years later, much more maturity in the team, much more maturity in the players. And for me, a good outside bet would be Germany. If I had to take an outside bet, I think a lot of people have sort of favoured Belgium and teams like that. But for me, Germany, outside Argentina and Brazil, certainly. Well, I don't think Spain, with a team 4 years older as well, a lot of those players have played a lot of football. They have got their style of playing, they have kept the coach. So for me, if you want to go semi-finalists, you've got to go certainly Argentina, Brazil, Germany and Spain possibly. But I always think in the semi-finals you always get a real rank outsider coming into the fore. But for me, I can't see Spain doing it again and being competitive. Well, certainly my favourite team, which is Brazil. I think Neymar will come into the fore. I think he's really been playing great football. He's a game breaker, and I think when you win World Cups, you need game breakers, and I think Neymar's one of those guys. I certainly feel that Fred and Hulk, if you look at those three attacking options that the Brazilians have got, are huge for me, and I think Fred can finish off the great chance that they will be creating. I think Messi needs to step up to the plate. He's had a quiet end to the season at his club, and I think if he steps up, I think certainly there's another one. Aguero, who's been injured most of the season, will come into the fore with Argentina. Good goal-scoring players, and I think these are the type of players that certainly for me will come to the fore in the World Cup. Well, Ronaldo, I think the biggest problem with Ronaldo at Portugal is that he carries the team on his own shoulders. I don't think they have enough class around him to be a serious contender. The one thing they've got huge enthusiasm and huge determination as a nation, being a small nation that they are. But I see Ronaldo, who's had an excellent season at his club, certainly a big ask for him to carry their team and carry them through all the rounds. I just don't know if Roy Hodgson's going to have will play these younger players. I think England have got a great generation bubbling under there. And I think certainly for me, the next World Cup, I think he'll come to the fore with Barkley and Oxlade-Chamberlain and players. Theo Walcott, who's also out injured. These type of players have got huge pace. Lallana from Southampton, I think will certainly come to the fore in the next World Cup. I just don't know if Roy Hodgson's going to play them where I think he should play them, because I think where the game is going is changing now. It's not so much the old directness in the play. I think when you're playing the heat there, you need to keep possession of the ball, and it's going to be much more slower build-ups. And they've got game breakers, line breakers, people who can get in beyond people, those young type of players. And I think they're going to need those type of players. I don't think Hodgson will play them this World Cup, all of them together. In Italy, I think they're very pedestrian, very robotic, but Italy are always a good World Cup side, a tournament side. You can never count them out. They always seem to get through the group stages by hook or by crook, but I can't see them going all the way. They certainly don't have enough world-class players in the setup. Well, the Netherlands again, I think if you look at the last World Cup, they got in the final against Spain. They were very dogmatic and very unlike a Dutch side. I still feel that at the back, I don't think they're good enough defensively, and I think you need a good defence to go through every game, because you're not going to play good football or free-flowing football, and there's going to have to be a defensive structure, and I just don't think they've got that. They've got a attacking players, you know, from Percy, Snyder, people like them. But at the end of the day, I just don't know if they can go the distance here. My honest opinion, I don't think Cameroon. I think Cameroon are the weakest side in all the African teams. I don't think they got, you know, much chance of getting out of the group. Algeria, for me, not a good side. They'll be organised. I mean, the coach is a very good coach. You'll get them organised and structured and things like that. But Ivory Coast, aging team, last World Cup, last hurrah for them, last get together, if you want to call it. I just don't think they're good enough. Ghana, young, exciting, but in a tough group. Uruguay, I think Uruguay got great attacking options for them in their team, and they'll have the hunger, the desire, they'll have good support as they're close by. You know, they'll have a big contingent of some fans or fan base there, but obviously have to do very well, and obviously they have to get a Suarez playing. You know, I think from the start there's been a lot of injury doubt around him, but I can't see much more. Colombia outside, you know, they might have a game or two, but certainly not to win the tournament. No chance.
Be part of the action at jacarandafm.com.